Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the channel. My name is Rob. In today's video, I'm going to talk about a couple things you need to get if you own anything with a small engine, from a lawnmower, weed whacker, leaf blower, snow blower, even tractors is what they consider small engine. The first thing I'm going to highly recommend you get is a thing called ethanol shield. It comes into a little bottle like this. You might be able to find bigger bottles, different size bottles, but this is one thing I highly recommend you get in, because the ethanol will wreak havoc with your lawnmowers and all that stuff. It causes a lot of problems, mainly with the carburetors and all that stuff, and it ends up making your lawnmower run like crap and all that stuff. And when you use this, this is for all gas engines. You want to use 1 ounce per 2.5 gallons. That's for everyday equipment use. When you're storing it, you'll want 1 ounce per 1 gallon. And then automotive 1 ounce per 10 gallon, and marine 10 ounce per 5 gallons. So that's how you want to use it. What I do is I get like a 5-gallon gas can, and I put like 2 ounces in it. And one thing it will make it do is it will make it last a lot longer, keep the oil fresher. So, if you don't do it, one thing is, if you don't put this in it, your gas is going to go stale, and it's going to be another thing that's going to cause problems with your lawnmower and all that stuff. It's going to get water in it, all that stuff, and it's going to cause it to go stale. So this is one thing I highly recommend. I put it in the gas can, a 5-gallon gas can, every time I get fuel. And like I said, it's to protect your small engine against the ethanol. There is other options for to prevent ethanol problems. I'll get to that in a few minutes. Another thing I highly recommend, if you have small engines and you're having any kind of problems with it, before you call a mechanic, unless you're a mechanic yourself and can work on mowers, I highly recommend you trying this. It's mechanic in a bottle. The directions for not all gas, poor running engines, all gas engines, is you pour 2 ounces of mechanic in a bottle per 1 gallon of gas. Start the engine and run for at least 15 minutes. Non-running all gas equipment, for small equipment, example, string trimmers, add 2 ounce into empty gas tank. For large equipment, example, large tractor, and add 4 ounce. Using primer ball or pull starter cord repeatedly. For best results, let engine stand for at least 4 hours before restarting. Do not drain MIB from a tank. Add fresh gas and follow equipment. So I highly recommend that. Mechanic in a bottle. I do have proof that it works. I just had to do it for my lawnmower. I was having problems with my lawnmower not running at all. And it's not that it wasn't running at all. It was running like crap. I started up, I put fresh gas in it. And part of it was my fault. But I really had no choice. For the matter, I had some things come up. I wasn't able to use it Basically, all that, pretty much all last year. Didn't have, it's now October. I didn't have a use for it until like September of this year. So one thing I had to do, because I didn't have a use for it, is I had to store it away so it would be safe, nothing would happen to it, wouldn't get stolen, all that stuff. So in order to put it in a safe place, I had to drain the gas out of it. Now I did not know this at the time, but having to empty a gas tank, a lawnmower gas tank and stuff out there is worse than the ethanol. It just allows, moisture and condensation and all that stuff to get in there and cause problems. So I didn't know that. So I went to start it up. I put fresh gas in it. I got the ethanol shield that I put in the gas can. I've used that since I've gotten the lawnmower. I've had the mower for, I want to say 3-4 years. I've had that lawnmower. Started up, no problem every time. Ran perfectly every time. Never had an issue with the lawnmower. The guy recommended that I get the ethanol in the shield because, I've heard it over and over again, prior to all this. My dad's had issues with his lawnmowers and all that stuff. But the ethanol that's in the gas wreaks havoc with the carburetors and the small engines. It's not good for it at all and all that stuff. My dad started, there's other ethanol-free options. They got a thing called True Fuel. One thing my dad got is where he lives, he can go over like 20 minutes to a half an hour over the border into another state and get ethanol-free fuel for the gas can. So that's what he does. Unfortunately, I don't have any place near me. It would be an hour to 2 hours for me to go somewhere and, get ethanol-free gas. So, yeah, that's what I did. So, anyways, what I normally do is I go get fill up the 5-gallon gas can. I put 2 ounces of the ethanol shield, and because it's 2.5 ounces it's like 1 ounce for every 2.5 gallons. So that's what I do. That seemed to help with the mower and all that stuff. Now, I don't know, if it helped, with the snowblower. I know snowblowers go through a lot of wear and tear. And I know some engines are better than others for the small engines. I don't know if it's because, Hondas are a good engine and that's what I have on. The lawnmower, well, I've never had a problem with it, and it seems like the ethanol shield works for it. And the fact that I have a Briggs & Stratton engine on the snowblower, I think it was. I no longer have the snowblower, so I can't even check. And that's why it didn't seem to help on the snowblower. But, like I said, never had a problem with the snowblower and all that stuff with the ethanol shield. Lawnmower. Always ran great. I've had some problems with the snowblower. The mechanic in the bottle seemed to, help and worked and made it run better. Didn't make it run the greatest, but it made it run like from being like a 3 to 5 to being like a 5 to 8. Like I said, I think a lot of it might have been just the snow and, you know, just one of the, you know, not so greatest engine out there. I know a lot of it's a lot of things with stuff like that is all how you take care of it. I've always taken care of my stuff pretty good. And this was just a problem since I had from the start. Just after the first couple uses, just started running rough. Like I said, always put the ethanol shield in it, so I don't know what was the issue with that. But anyways, so like I said, I had to get the mechanic in the bottle. I'm like, I'm gonna try the mechanic in the bottle first, because I called up a couple places. I started up my lawnmower for the first time after storing it away with no gas, and it ran really rough. At first I thought, okay, it was cold, it's cold, it hasn't ran in forever, it's gonna run for a little while and then smooth out. Unfortunately that wasn't the case, and it just started running really rough, and then at the point where it stalled a couple times, I got it started up again. Like I said, I thought warming up would solve the issues and all that stuff and fix it. But unfortunately that wasn't the case, and then to the point it wouldn't start at all. So I called up a couple places. They were like, okay, it's gonna be like $89 just to figure out what's wrong with it. That's not including parts, not including this, and that's like $89 an hour. So, that's gonna be over, close to $200. If they can't figure out what exactly is wrong with it, not including parts for the 2 hours, as like the worst case scenario. So I was like, okay, I'll try the mechanic in a bottle. So I tried it, and it recommends, like I said, I read the instructions off of it. I let it sit for over the 4 hours because it's ended up starting to rain that day. Had other stuff to do, so it probably sat there for at least 6 to 8 hours. I poured fresh gas in it. When I got home that night, started it up, ran perfectly fine, 100% better, just like it was brand new. Didn't have any issue, so it was getting late. I didn't finish mowing that day, or do any mowing that day. I just wanted to see if it ran and see if I'd be able to mow it, to figure out the next step from there. So I got the fuel, put it in there. I started mowing. The grass was wet. I don't know if it was from the dew, because like I said, it's September, getting cold, really cold nights, really warm days, all that stuff, or if it rained last night and I just wasn't aware of it, and because it was warm enough by the time I was out and stuff and got around to it, where the blacktops in the streets were dry. I don't know what the case may be, but that's basically what had happened. So it started running rough, not where it was stopping me from mowing. I was getting it done. I was like, okay, maybe it's just some grass clogged up, making it run a little rough. So I added a couple more ounces of the, I shut it off, added a couple more ounces of the mechanic in a bottle, started back up, ran perfectly the rest of the time mowing. So I highly recommend it. That does work. I would always suggest try it unless you're a mechanic first and you know what you're doing and you know how to fix stuff. I highly recommend trying that before you take it somewhere to a mechanic to try to get it fixed, you know, and spending a lot more, because that mechanic in a bottle is, you know, let's just say at the cheapest it's $15. So you're saving a lot of money there. Like I said, it varies from price to price. I think I've seen the cheapest, I think I found it for $6-7 at Walmart, and I've seen it on Walmart's site for like 15. I've seen it on other sites, automotive sites. I've seen it range anywhere from 15 to like around $25. So anywhere between 15 and 30 is what I've seen it. So right there, as I said, that mechanic in the bottle, even if the most expensive is 30 or 40 bucks, you know, just like I said, worst case scenario, that's still a lot better than $89 an hour just to figure out what's wrong with the mower, not including parts and labor and all that stuff. So right there, in my opinion, is, you know, the best bet to try, you know, best thing to do, try first, and all that stuff. And then another thing I highly recommend you use to prevent any issues, you know, as far as ethanol related issues, and having any problem with your lawn equipment, is I highly recommend you getting the True Fuel. I don't recommend it as much with, you know, for like lawnmowers and snow blowers, as much as I recommend it for, you know, stuff like weed whackers, leaf blowers, and stuff like that, where you have to mix the oil with the gas. You know, if you have one spot, you know, any like lawn equipment where you have to just put straight gas into it, and then you have a separate spot for the oil. For example, they do have 4-cycle weed whackers, where you put the oil in one tank just like a regular lawnmower, and, you know, the gas in another tank. They do have those 4-cycle mowers, or not mowers, weed whackers. I don't know if they have leaf blowers or chainsaws like that, but I do know for a fact that they do have weed whackers, because my dad had one. And they do have 4-cycle True Fuel, you know, which you would use in a regular lawnmower, in a tractor, you know, in a snowblower. And they have 50-to-1 True Fuel, and they have 40-to-1. Which is just different mix, because every leaf blower is different. So yeah, they have, like I said, 50-to-1, 40-to-1, and it's just different types of leaf blowers and all that stuff. That takes different type of oil mix. That's just the gas to oil ratio. For those that you don't know, I had a leaf blower that was 40-to-1, and you know, another leaf blower that was 50-to-1. I still have the 50-to-1 oil ratio mix one. And for that, I always get the True Fuel. I feel a lot better using that than getting gas at the gas station and mixing oil. I'm just worried that I won't get the mix right and I'll ruin my leaf blower and stuff like that. So like I said, I get the True Fuel for the amount I go through the gas with the leaf blower. For the amount I use it, it works out good. I don't spend as much on fuel, so it does last me for a while. For the amount I use the leaf blower, whereas in if you do try to do that with the lawnmowers, you're going to spend a lot more in fuel. Let's just say, let's just say gas alone is cost you $20 to fill up a gas can. At today, like just say today's prices, or just right now, worst case scenario. Because I know 5 gallons, some places wouldn't even be that much right now. Anyways, so you got to think about it. Spend $20 on gas. Depending on where you find the ethanol shield, you can get that anywhere from, depending on the size you get, will depend on what it's cost. I think I called somewhere to see if they had it, because I was looking at Walmart. I didn't find it on their site or anything like that. I forget where I ended up finding it. I think I did end up finding it at Walmart. But anyways, I don't remember where I found it. But let's just say that costs you $5. At the worst case, if you get a really big bottle off Amazon, it might cost you $25. So right there, that's $50. And they have like a 32 ounce can, or they have a 108 ounce can of all three different True Fuel cans. And like I said, for the most part, what I used it, I got, for the most part with my push mower, obviously I know you're going to go through more gas with, tractors, and, the bigger the tractor, the bigger the mower, some of the bigger ride-on mowers, some of the bigger zero turns. You're liable to go through gas more than a push mower or something, depending on your yard. But with the side of my yard, I think I was able to mow my whole lawn at least maybe 2 or 3 times. At least. And maybe even half of it on, like 1 tank of gas. But at least definitely 2 times, maybe 3, if I was lucky. And the amount of times I had to mow my lawn, come summer next year, even with the snowblower, I still had quite a bit of gas left in a 5 gallon can. I mean, I know I was lucky compared to some ones, but I don't even know I don't even know how big the gas tanks are on the lawnmowers. I don't even know if 108 ounces would even fill the tank. So And like I said, I use it in the snowblower. And when I was looking to see how much it would be for the True Fuel, it was like 26, 27 bucks, the cheapest where I found it. Somewhere as much as $30 right there. So yeah, so anyways, those are three things I highly recommend you get if you have any type of lawn mowing equipment: string trimmers, weed whackers. Like I said, if you even if you get what's this bottle? This is a 4-ounce bottle. No, that's no way it's a 4-ounce bottle. So yeah, it's a 4-ounce bottle. For a 5-gallon can. Like you said, it's 2.5. You put 2 ounces to 2.5 gallon, an ounce, for 2.5 gallons. So you can fill up a 5-gallon can twice and put that in it for, like, I think that was like $6 or $7 that I found it. I think that one was $5. They have different sizes and all that stuff, but you know, I think that's the cheaper way to go for the lawnmowers. Is your best bet. Just fill up a 5-gallon gas can. You know, put 2 ounces in that, because like I said, it's 1 ounce for 2.5 gallons, and all that stuff. And then, just to be on the safe side, so you don't have to worry about getting the gas to oil mix right, you know, get yourself the True Fuel. You can find them at any hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's. I've never seen them at Walmart. I mean, I've seen the little cans, but not so much the big cans. And I usually, like I said, I usually get the big cans. They last me longer and all that stuff. So yeah, those are definitely 3 things I highly recommend you getting if you have any type of lawn equipment. And because it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna save you a lot of money. Especially that mechanic in the bottle. If your lawnmower's not running right and it's running rough and it's running like crap or not running it at all, it definitely as of right now, it saved me a lot of money. Got it running smoothly again, got it running good and all that stuff. So anyways, thanks for watching. Sorry for this video was a little longer than intended. I just got talking about a lot of different things that I thought of and recommended. I had originally only planned on talking about the ethanol shield and mechanic in the bottle, and then talking about the ethanol issues. I thought of the True Fuel that I get for the leaf blowers. So I definitely wanted to bring that to your guys' attention, because that's definitely another thing I recommend, and I think it's a great thing to get when it comes to the leaf blowers and the weed whackers. You know, depending on how much you use the weed whacker, you know, if you just use it for your yard, if you're mowing, a bunch of your family's yards, or a landscaper, then it might not be the smartest move cost wise, but as far as, you got to think of it this way: the amount that it would cost you to get a can every time is still cheaper than the cost it would, it cost you to repair your weed whacker or leaf blower or chainsaw, if you have to get the oil mix, oil gas mix wrong, and end up having to spend a lot to get it repaired, or you know, even buy a new one for that matter. So that's just my opinion and my thoughts on the situation. So anyways, once again, thanks for watching. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.